All right. Welcome in. It's a brand new edition of the RSL Show on the KSL Sports Network. I'm Alex Napolis. Happy to be joined today by Joshua Clark. Josh, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Alex. How are you?
Doing good. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, and there is a big hole in my heart that is the shape of the RSL crest at the moment because there is no Real Salt Lake to talk about.
It's not filled in a little bit with the circle of Utah Hockey Club?
A little bit, and I think it probably would be a little bit more if I can get myself to get out to a game, but I still haven't even done that. So
That's because all you do is work, man.
we'll figure it out. We'll get out to a game and have some fun at the Delta Center.
I went to one last Friday.
Yeah, against the was it
the old Golden Knights?
Yeah, they lost.
Yeah, we did lose, but it was still fun.
Well, I'm glad you had fun.
Those obstructed views are they're no joke.
How bad was it?
I couldn't see probably a quarter of the ice.
Oh, okay.
I'm very curious to see how they fix it.
It is going to be interesting to see kind of like the Delta Center post the renovations.
Apparently, it's getting bigger.
Which have no clue how they're going to do that.
I have a feeling they're going to demolish like both quote unquote end zones one at a time and scoot them back. That's the only thing I can think that they can do.
Knowing Ryan Smith, though, it's going to come out. It's going to turn out really cool, and we're happy to have hockey.
Yeah, it's incredibly fun. I highly recommend going to a game. Obstructed view or not, it was still super fun.
So we teased some news on our social media last week, and it's news that we're extremely excited about. Josh, are you excited about it?
Do I answer truthfully?
Yes.
Of course I am. Yeah, it's always good to announce what we're going to announce.
I'm really excited about it. Josh is really excited about it. I think everybody else involved with the RSL show is excited about it. And so we hope that you guys are just as excited about it. But we hired another intern. I got promoted. I'm no longer the intern, so we have a new intern.
I don't remember discussing that.
We could discuss logistics later, but we do have an intern. And you may know him. He's already been involved in the RSL space and doing some RSL things. And so without further ado, happy to announce that Mr. Carson Lance is joining the RSL show. He is now going to help us on the podcast. He's going to be one of us. So Carson, how you doing, man?
Hello. I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. We again just need to get some soccer going.
Yeah, it's been very slow, and I'm itching for RSL news.
Absolutely. I think we all are. So Carson, hey, thank you for joining, man. We're happy to have you on, and we hope you, the listener, and the followers can also be excited about this news to bring Carson along as well.
Heck yeah.
So let's jump into it. Let's dive into the RSL news that we have gotten over the course of the last couple of weeks. And first, we have to give major props and major credit to it's a little bit older now, but we need to talk about Diego Luna winning the League Young Player of the Season award. Josh, your thoughts on the Diego Luna winning?
It's absolutely incredible. Anytime a quote unquote small market team can get, a league wide award, it's a big deal, and it's a big deal for us. It's a big deal for the USL to MLS pipeline. Couldn't be more proud of Diego Luna and seeing how far he's come in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think it's a very well-deserved reward for Luna. He's worked very hard. He went through a lot this season with like the USA Olympic call-up, and obviously at the beginning of the season he had the mental health stuff apparently going on as well, and he pushed through all of that and got rewarded for it.
Good season for Diego.
Yeah.
Again, just us on the show here, extremely happy for him. Sucks because I think this is just going to continue to open up doors for Diego, and we might not have Diego for too much longer.
I mean, let's be honest, those doors were going to open anyway.
Yes.
This just increases his value.
Absolutely.
Right? So excellent news in my opinion.
Great news for Diego. Great news for Real Salt Lake. Good to see RSL players get recognized in that way. There's also some team level awards that were given out earlier, and that's, Josh, you mentioned it last time we talked, Emeka Nelly as the RSL MVP. Thoughts on that?
It's the right move. I think you sign him as a DP right now. I'm joking. I'm joking, by the way. But no, he's such an important piece of this squad. It came from nowhere, right? He had a great season 2 years ago now at right back, but filling in that void for Pablo Ruiz, really making it his own, making it almost impossible for anyone to come in and take that spot from him. I mean, for a draft pick, can you ask for any more?
I mean, I think a lot of us didn't expect much from him when he first came in. You know, he was just this kid from Cornell that, you know, you don't really know much of these kids unless you keep up with college soccer. I don't think like a lot of us keep up with college soccer. And, you know, he came in as a winger striker from Cornell, and they just said, hey, play right back. And he's like, all right, did good there. Hey, play midfield. And then he did awesome there as well, and he got rewarded for it.
It is interesting because I remember when we were trying to do the Instagram lives and doing our interviews over Instagram, the very first player that we got to do that with was Emeka Eneli, and this was like right after his debut. And so it's fun. I think it's super fun to watch him grow and to watch him become a really important piece in the midfield, because definitely thinking back to that conversation, I never would have thought that he would become the essential piece that he has become today. And it's amazing to see, especially like you guys mentioned, from a draft pick.
Yeah, the fact that he's gone from draft pick to a solid boulder in that spine, it's almost unheard of in the league these days. So, you know, just mega props to Emeka.
Yeah, and I also saw something tweeted by Trey Fitzgerald on Twitter X. You know, he said that Emeka was the first player to have college experience on the team to win MVP since Nat Borchers.
Ooh, since Borchers.
Since old Borchers tortures. Were you guys even alive when Borchers played here?
I was probably 6.
Oh, yeah.
I remember him winning MLS Cup with Portland.
I just remember his beard.
Fear the beard. I remember him scoring against us with Portland and refusing to celebrate, and he almost started crying. So, love that guy.
Legends, and it's cool to see Emeka, who such a young age already associated with a legend like Nat Borchers. So good to see, again, just him recognized for the stellar season that he had. Let's talk a little bit about the playoffs. Carson, what has been your biggest surprise so far in the MLS playoffs?
I think it's a pretty obvious answer. Atlanta United beating Inter Miami, and Tata Martino's gone as well. So
yes,
who knows what's going on over there? But you know, Inter Miami broke the record for the most points in a single season that was held by New England Revolution, and you know, I think everyone kind of expected them to go into the playoffs and dominate. Maybe not everyone, but I didn't really expect them to dominate, and they didn't. And I mean, Atlanta United had everything to fight for. I mean, they had an interim head coach. They sold their 2 best players during the season, and they just weren't going to let Inter Miami walk all over them. And look, Inter Miami's out of the playoffs now.
Yes, you mentioned Tata Martino out, which kind of came as a surprise to, I think, everybody. I don't think anybody saw that one coming. That was breaking news this morning from Tom Bogert. Just shocking that Martino is out at Inter Miami after the season that they had. Josh, your biggest surprise in the playoffs?
I mean, Miami's a big one, but I'm going to go with Columbus.
Yeah.
Not that early.
It's interesting to kind of go back and think and look upon previous years, because for a while there, anybody who won the Supporter Shield and anybody who was at the top of the table typically didn't do well in playoffs. And for a second there, it looked like that trend was going to discontinue, because you look 2 years ago, Cincinnati made it to the Eastern Conference Final. You look at last season, or 2 seasons ago, where LAFC, who was the Supporter Shield winner, also winning MLS Cup. But then you go to the year before that, and New England, who broke the record, didn't even make it past the first round. And so for a second, it looked like we were going to make it past that, but now we're back to, the good teams who were supposed to make it through didn't make it through.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like a lot of people, there's that huge discussion of Supporter Shield doesn't really matter. You know, it's like if you can do as good as you want during the regular season, but if it doesn't correlate into the playoffs, then no one cares if you won the Supporter Shield.
Which sucks. I kind of do wish that we had a little bit more importance and gave a little bit more credit to the Supporter Shield, but ultimately, I think the trophy that these clubs look at and these clubs wants is obviously the MLS Cup.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to bring that desire, the relevance of the Supporter Shield, you have to get rid of the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I don't think
like
is,
that.
I don't think is happening anytime soon.
No, we don't need a single table. Unless we have ProRel, what's the point?
Yeah.
Although I would not be against the number one in the West taking on the number one in the East and having MLS Cup battled out between the two top teams instead of having this drawn out playoffs.
I see where you're going. Yeah, I think that actually would probably be a lot better because then you actually get rewarded for playing good in the regular season to where it's just like, boom, one more game left. If you win, you get the trophy. And also it makes so like the irrelevant, like lower seed teams like get out of the way, you know?
And it would prevent teams like San Jose from tanking halfway through the year.
Yeah, for sure.
But how would you get that Apple TV revenue? Come on, guys.
Come on, Josh, man.
The important things.
I just want them to fix this best of three because I find it irritating and I don't like the fact that Vancouver won on aggregate and still couldn't advance.
Yeah.
Listen, for me, not only is the playoff format annoying, but it's so drawn out that even a fan of soccer like myself, right? I absolutely love it. You guys can't see behind me, but just like Carson and Alex, soccer stuff's everywhere, right? I get bored and lose interest, especially if my team's not in it.
Yeah.
The odds are I probably won't tune back in until is it even the conference finals now?
No, we still got a round to go.
Yeah, so I might join back in the fun on the conference final, but like the last leg, and then MLS Cup, because it's just there's so many other sports going on, and you're just drawing out these playoff games, 3 games. It's ridiculous.
I think a 2-leg would be perfectly fine, where it's just home and away, and then just do Champions League format.
Yeah.
But then that doesn't solve the issue, which Ricky Puig was tweeting about and was very vocal about, the LA Galaxy basically going 3 weeks without playing a game.
Yeah, it's insane.
Which is it's crazy.
And that needs to be fixed as well. But enough of us complaining about playoffs because
let's talk about RSL. We're not in the playoffs, so who cares?
At this point, we're just yelling at the hills. So let's jump into Real Salt Lake talk. Obviously, we had the awards given out. But now we're going to do one of our favorite segments of the preseason / postseason, and it's Keep, Cut, Sell. We're going to grade the players. We're going to put our GM hats and figure out what we want to see and how we're feeling about this Real Salt Lake roster.
And we're not caring about how much is left on the contract. It's just pure emotion.
Yes.
And if we think that player can get us over the line next year.
There we go. So let's start with the goalkeeping room. And we'll start with the easy one. Thomas Gomez.
Gone.
Who?
He's gone.
He was on loan almost all last year. There's no point keeping him around. I do have his jersey though. He's one.
Why?
He's one that I'm okay with seeing not return. Thank you for your service. Thank you for coaching up Gavin Beavers.
It's time for
as long as you
Delgado.
did, and Delgado. But your time is up, buddy.
Carson, real quick, fun fact about Josh here. I collect kits, but my favorite thing to collect is obscure players that no one else is going to have at the stadium.
Do you have a Sam Johnson jersey?
That I don't. I have one that I could snag. I just haven't pulled the trigger. I usually stay away from strikers as well, but
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You should get a Bellucci jersey.
No.
Giuseppe Rossi.
Or
Rossi would be kind of a fun one. The one I want to find right now, a game worn. If anyone has it, there's 2. Terakazu Tanaka.
Oh, what
and
a
Sonny.
pool.
And
Okay.
Sonny.
Okay.
Those are two that are high on my wish list right now.
I forgot about Tanaka. Carson, you remember Tanaka?
You guys were both 11, maybe.
I remember
I think
Tanaka.
he had like 4 appearances, so
Yeah, that's quite the pull. You just like brought up some FIFA 11 memory for me.
Menendez.
Joni got that.
Yeah.
I love Joni. Big Joni guy over here.
All right, now here's where the debate can get a little. Here's where we're going to debate.
All right. I already have my answer, so.
First, 35, Gavin Beavers. Josh?
Sell.
Carson?
Sell.
Keep.
Sell.
Wow. You're outvoted here because I'm going to sell.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
okay.
I think this is a kid that you have to sell high, and you have to capitalize on his value, right? If there is a decent enough offer for Gavin Beavers, I don't see why Real Salt Lake should not take it.
Yeah.
Take it and run.
Yep.
I think for sure. I just don't think he has proved himself at all, really, for teams to pull the trigger on him, unless they're like, hey, like we've seen the potential. Hey, let's get him.
I could see a team championship, even a lower division EPL side, picking him up and loaning him off immediately.
Yeah.
And developing him that way. I think if anything, he needs a loan and he needs to go get some solid time, maybe in a lower division. But yeah, I just think he needs some time. But if there's money there to be made, I say get it now while you can.
Okay. That's fair.
He's still green, and I would like to see him, like Josh mentioned, get picked up by either a Champions League side. Right, there was Newcastle scouts scouting around our goalkeepers back in the summer. Someone like that, pick him up and then loan him out to League 2 or League 1, and where he's going to get solid minutes to grow and develop. I think that's what I'd like to see for Gavin.
Or simply enough, use the Blitzer group, find a team in the Blitzer group that needs some help, send him on loan, take him back.
Not bad. Not a bad idea. We move on to number 18, Zach McMath.
Keep as a number 2.
Keep.
Okay. I think we're all in the same boat.
As a number 2.
Yes.
But who's the number 1?
That's the mystery.
That's the hope. Trying to put it out in the universe here, you know what I'm saying?
I think there was moments in McMath's season where we can applaud him. We can give him all the flowers, specifically in that Minnesota series.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why Real Salt Lake was in that series for as long as they were, a lot of credit has to be given to Zach McMath. However, during that summer, even when Real Salt Lake were hot, he was in a slump.
Yeah. And to be fair, there's probably 9 points in that table that we lost because of Zach McMath.
Possibly more.
Yeah. So,
possibly more.
Maybe we are not matched up with Minnesota in the playoffs.
I would be okay I would be more than happy and more than okay having Zach be number 2 if Real Salt Lake can invest in a good number 1 goalkeeper, a top, look at Kalina from Charlotte, right? He's come in from overseas and he's been a really solid number 1. I wouldn't mind seeing that from Real Salt Lake. However, because of players like Fernando Delgado and Will McKay, I don't see that necessarily happening for Real Salt Lake,
nor do I.
You're on the same page as me.
Which I think in the case of Delgado and McKay, they're still on the same boat for me as Beavers, maybe still a little bit too young. But if Gavin Beavers does end up being sold this winter, that just opens up the door for a rotation with Delgado, with McKay, and with Zach McMath. So I think that's where Real Salt Lake are leading in this goalkeeper room. However, I would like to see a number 1 be brought in for Real Salt Lake.
I think with Zach McMath is I can just think about, he was really good in the playoffs, but as Josh said, we lost like 9 points with him at keeper, and I can only think about that FC Dallas away game, that LA Galaxy away game, that San Jose game. I think that was at home where it's just like, Zach, what were you doing? And it was not even really the LA Galaxy game. I'm going to say that's Zach's fault, but the other, the Dallas game, everyone was asleep during that game. San Jose game, everyone was asleep during that game.
But Zach McMath was at midfield trying to clear a ball and completely
yeah. And it's just we know how good he can be. It's just like, hey, what was going on? Why were you playing like that?
Right, and that's why I want to give him a little bit of a benefit of a doubt. But like I said, even when we're hot in the summer, our goalkeeper was in a slump, and it cost Real Salt Lake.
Like even when our whole back line was hurt, Gavin Beavers got a shutout versus Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's literally no excuse, I feel like.
That was this year?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
And then let's not forget that the style of play RSL is moving forward with. You rely on your keeper's feet a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Zach McMath doesn't have that. We all know that. He knows that. So
Delgado.
if we want, exactly.
All right. We'll move on to the defenders now. Moving up the field. We'll start with the easy ones. Tommy Silva. I'm going to say keep.
Yeah.
Keep.
Nothing there. Kevin Bonilla. Keep. Nothing there. Zach Farnsworth.
Ditch.
So.
I think we're at the point of Zach Farnsworth's career where it's time to move. It's time to move him on.
Injuries aren't going to allow him to play.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's a fact, right?
It's unfortunate because I think he was pretty healthy overall this season, and he played a lot of minutes with the Monarchs. But I also there hasn't been anything that has jumped out and has wowed me about Zach Farnsworth,
Yeah, I mean, he was supposed to be the next Justin Glad. Supposed to be. It's not coming to fruition.
Yeah, and my thing is we have guys like Josh Jones coming in next year from Louisville, one of the top center backs in college soccer, who I feel like is probably going to be better than Zach Farnsworth, and he's healthy.
He's probably going to be better than a majority of our center backs. Let's be honest.
That's what I'm expecting. So
yeah.
So Zach Farnsworth, we're all in agreement. Cut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we're cutting Zach Farnsworth. This should be easy. Eric Holt.
Put him on an airplane, fly him to Yugoslavia, one way, leave him there. Block his number, block his email, auto forward any letters he may write you, or just run away.
That's harsh.
Dang.
That's harsh on Eric Holt. Oh no, I think it's time to. He's another one where I think, like Thomas Gomez, thank you for your service, but it's time to move on.
Yeah, I think he's gone as well. I think he might end up staying with the Monarchs though.
It's fine.
Yeah, I don't think he has a future with the first team though.
There's no way.
He does have a restaurant in Salt Lake City that's very good, and so hopefully we run into him at the restaurant.
He has a restaurant?
I mean, if he's hurt that much, he has something to do.
What is his restaurant?
I can't remember the name. I'll have to look it up.
It wasn't that good then.
All right. Javane Brown, I think we're all in agreement.
Keep.
He showed promise. He fought. I think he was one of the three players in the third leg versus Minnesota that actually looked like he was trying.
Yep.
Keep.
There you go. That's an easy one. Here's one that might not be so easy. Marcelo Silva.
Cut.
Okay, never mind. It's easy.
Again, legend, kind of.
Yes.
Love him, but it's time. We need to improve our defense. We got a lot of old dead weight on the defense.
Yes, I think Marcelo Silva. Him, I wish we could have a more ceremonious thank you. But I think it's time. I think it's time to move on and get a little younger at the center back position.
I think it's definitely sad the way it should end. I think he should be gone, but unfortunately that injury kind of cut that out. But I mean, you're getting older, you're not getting younger. We need younger, better center backs.
It's the RSL thing.
100%. Brian Vera.
So.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys.
If you can make money on him, do it.
Absolutely. If there is any offers, a good enough offer for Brian Vera coming this offseason, 100%. Let's capitalize on that.
And this isn't I don't like Vera. If he stays, I'm perfectly happy. But this is a if he's desired elsewhere and it's somewhere he wants to play, sayonara.
Yeah, I think if a team comes calling, let him leave. I'm still a little bitter about him spitting on that player at the end of the season, and I just thought that was really immature. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's 2 end of the year red cards for him in 2 successive seasons.
A lot of suspensions.
It's just like you expect it to happen. Like it's like, oh, Vera's gonna do something. Like it's never, oh, like he's always gonna do something. Like it's you just expect it to come. You just don't know when.
It's not if, it's when.
Yeah. A lot of suspensions for Brian Vera this year, whether it's yellow card accumulation, whether it's red cards. That's something that I think hurt Real Salt at times. There was moments.
You can't afford that from your starting center back.
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go. All right. So we move on to Alex Catranis, who I think is an easy keep.
Absolutely. Carry on.
Keep.
Okay. Now here, I saved this one for last, obviously.
So
Number 15, Justin Glad.
Keep.
I wish we could have sold him 5 years ago.
I think, and this might be crazy, and I think a lot of fans might give me some flack for this, but I think that that's a player that we can still sell.
No. Not outside of MLS. I don't think it's going to happen. He's way out of the prime age that a European team wants.
I know, and I know he's probably a Real Salt Laker for life, but I think he's been here long enough. I think that that's a position that we can really improve on this offseason. If he's okay taking a third center back spot, I would be okay holding on to him. However, if he's not, let's move on.
I would be absolutely over the moon if we brought in 2 center backs that forced Justin Glad to be a rotational center back.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd be over the moon.
Fair, yeah. I think with me is I never thought we would having a discussion where one of our center backs makes the MLS All-Star team and we're saying to get rid of him. So it's like,
well, that's the thing. And sorry to interrupt you, Carson, but we haven't seen All-Star Glad since he got injured.
Mm-hmm.
If he can come back next season and push the reset button, which I'm hoping some of these players on this roster can do, you push the reset button, it's a new season, you're fresh, you're re-energized. If you can come back and start having those all-star performances, then yes, by all means, let's have Justin Glad continue to be the guy at center back. However, if we continue to see the Justin Glad that we saw at the end of the season, I think it's just time.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's totally fair. I think he needs to prove that he needs to stay healthy and stay consistent. You can't have those crappy performances when it's the lights are the brightest, you know? That's when you're tested as a player, and if you're actually like if you're a fraud or if you're not a fraud, you know what I'm saying?
It's a good way to put it.
And for me, like we've already kind of talked about it, but this entire roster is evolving. And I don't think Justin Glad, he's a good player. I have no problem with Justin Glad, right? It's a history there. But I see the entire team evolving, and I don't want us to not evolve defensively and at the center back because we're too loyal to a guy that's been with us for so long.
Do you think that's what was happening like this season, where we could have been bringing in center backs and we just decided not to?
I don't think so. I think this iteration of the front office is just trying to be really smart with their shopping, and I don't think deals were necessarily there that were smart. I just, coming from the age of, Winger, Beltran, Raimondo, Kyle, all those guys, some of them just overstayed, not their welcome, but like we could have gotten better along those years by not having a 34-year-old Chris Winger playing center back. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't want to see that happen to Justin Glad. I don't want to see him kind of dwindle into obscurity on the bench because he just stayed far too long.
Yeah. I think that's fair, yeah.
I apologize. I missed 2 guys. Let's hit them real quick. Number 2, Andrew Brody.
Gone, please, for the love. Put him on the plane with Holt. But maybe open the door and like give him a parachute and just push him out.
Keep.
No.
I mean, no.
We're fighting now. We're fighting now.
I actually meant to say cut him, but in my head, it's like Kevin Bonilla is coming back from a season-ending injury. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have Brody stay just to kind of help Bonilla get settled, just be that veteran presence. But I don't want to see him be on the field as much as because we should be seeing Bodie and Kevin at right back more than we should be seeing Brody.
Yeah, he needs a change of scenery in order for him to continue playing because he's clearly too comfortable. I don't know if it's clearly, but
I do agree. It's time to move on from Andrew Brody. And the last one that I missed, Philip Quinton.
Keep. I think at first he was kind of like, but I think he looked like he started to develop in the Pablo system a little bit better, and he's good depth.
He can stay.
He can stay. I'm right there. Yep, I'm right there with you. He's a guy that did a lot better towards the end. Once he got more comfortable, once he got more used to Real Salt Lake, and once he got more playing time, he did
a job at right back.
He did
a job.
So I'm okay keeping him. He's good depth, like Carson said. Haziel Orozco. He's
gone.
Okay, Fan Josh wants him to stick around, but there's no way he does.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm okay selling him. I love him. I want him to be, like Josh mentioned, the fan of me wants him to be a future Real Salt Lake legend.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that there's room on this roster right now for Haziel Orozco.
Yeah, I want him to get out there, develop, play.
And he's a what-if player.
100%. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
All right, and we move on. Some easy ones right off the bat. Dominic Markzuk.
Keep.
No discussion there. Lachlan Brook.
Keep.
No discussion there. Now here's a fun one. Diogo Gonçalves.
Oh, man. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to let him have a preseason, and then I can look back at this. So we're gonna say keep for now.
Just exactly what Josh said.
He's one of those that I think desperately needs a preseason to really gel and figure out what he's going to be, who he's going to be for Real Salt Lake.
He didn't look like a DP to me the times I saw him play. That's all I'm going to say.
No, and that's the unfortunate part. I think he's shown the tiniest of glimpses, and I want him to come around because I do think that he has the traits and the ability to be one of the best 10s in Major League Soccer. We just have not seen it with Real Salt Lake yet.
Yeah.
That signing right there felt like it was LeBron became the GM, but instead of LeBron, it was Chicho. And Chicho's like, hey, my homie back from Benfica, he's playing at Copenhagen. Let's bring him in the team. And that's just kind of what it felt like.
I hope that's not the case.
Hope he comes good.
We'll keep him for now. Matt Crooks.
Keep.
Easy keep. No conversation there. Xavier Golso.
Keep but loan.
Yes. I think yes. He is a kid that has incredible potential, and he needs to be playing. Yes, he's gotten a lot of minutes with the Monarchs. I do believe he played enough with the Monarchs this season, but maybe send him out to loan somewhere where he has a little bit higher competition and just continue to grow because he's a player that I think could come around eventually for Real Salt Lake.
100%. He's the new Ledesma.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good comparison.
Yeah. Yep.
Give him. Well, let's keep going and then I'll explain.
All right. Nelson Palacio, number 13.
This one's tricky. I'm going to say sell only because I don't want to sell Anelli. I don't want to sell Ojeda. I don't think Ruiz has the same value since the injury, and that midfield room is very full.
I think we're going to keep him.
I think I'm going to keep him. And I'll explain why momentarily. Nelson Caliscan.
Oh, please. Nelson Caliscan?
Did I say Nelson? Noel Caliscan.
I want to say cut him, but he did a job, decent depth. He can stick around.
I just keep him in the same role he's been doing, starter on the Monarchs, but when we need depth, bring him in case we need a midfielder. So keep.
There you go. Emeka Anelli.
Keep, no question. DP money, let's go.
Keep. Don't have to ask me.
Lucas Moisa.
Keep.
He's a young guy.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Brian Ojeda.
Keep.
So he sell him because I feel like people are gonna come calling for him. So if people are come calling, then sell. But if not, then keep.
Something deep down tells me that we will not have Brian Ojeda. Then this is just pure speculation. I don't have any information. Just want to throw it out there.
He's a damn fine player.
He is an amazing player. I would argue that out of everybody in the midfield, even including Pablo Ruiz, he is the best one in that midfield.
Oh, there's no question for me. That's not even a hot take.
I believe there will be an offer for him this winter, and if it's a good offer, it's one of those you just can't refuse. You got to take it. It's going to be so sad, but I do think there should be a big enough market for Brian Ojeda for him to be moved on.
Do I want to see him get sold?
No,
not really. I would love if he stayed forever.
Yes,
as long as he's playing good, but I feel like he's going to be sold.
Yes, and so that's why I'm with Carson on keeping Nelson, and because I think Ojeda is going to be on my sell list.
Okay, fine. I just really don't want to, okay?
Diego Luna.
Someone's coming knocking, man.
Yeah, I would be surprised if someone's not going to come call for him. If not, it's really sad, I feel like, for him.
I said this to you guys off camera, and I'll say it again on the podcast now. I would be shocked if Luna's back next season. Not because he's unhappy, not because obviously we don't want him, but because someone's going to put an offer on the table for Diego Luna. And he's going to be on my sell list.
Yeah, and, he wants to go play internationally. He wants to be a part of the U.S. team, and if you go play in Europe or something, that's just going to make your chances better for all that. So, we're the Mexican national team, whatever one he decides to go with. But he deserves to go make that money, play in the big leagues. Again, like Ojeda, I hate it, but I get it, and I hope it happens for him.
The only reason I see Luna staying is family. That's really about it.
Yeah, but I also see him going and getting that bag so he can take care of his family forever. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
True. Bodie Hidalgo?
He can stick around, I guess.
Yeah, he can stay.
He's a keep. Michael Chang.
Bye.
Hey, like Thomas Gomez, thank you for your service, but
ask who Xavier Gozo should be taking his minutes.
100%. The fact that Chang came in that last game versus Minnesota
still wild.
Just irks me, man.
Still wild. You're in a do or die situation, and you bring in Michael Chang.
What are we doing? Michael Chang. If the world is gonna die, if the world's gonna blow up, give me Michael Chang to save the day.
Oh, geez. Okay. Who was that? Was that Max Kellerman? ESPN?
Yeah. Give me $1.
Pablo Ruiz.
I'd like to sell him if we could. Injuries, man. Plaguing him.
I don't know. I feel like the midfield of Ojeda and Anelli is just too good for Ruiz to just be like, hey, I'm back. But you've been hurt, and who knows how good you are now. So I don't know. I'm
ready to move on.
Yeah, move on.
It's heartbreaking because I love Pablo, and I thought, back in, was it 22 before he got the first injury?
When the Manchester United scouts were apparently watching him. I don't believe that for 1 second, Carson, but that was rumor out at some point.
Either way, I think that the whatever window Ruiz had to make it over to Europe might have closed at this
Just
point.
like glad it's closed.
You haven't played in 2 seasons. Who knows where you are physically? Who knows where you are technically after not playing for basically 2 years?
His knees are cooked.
I would be okay with keeping him in the case that Ojeda leaves, but
we'd have to bring another guy in just in case. We can't have a Nelly Caliscan playing every minute.
because I think if you remember back to the beginning of the season, Pablo Ruiz would be introduced as the 10.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went down again, there was no questions and no answers at the 10 until Matt Crooks came along.
And was that really even a solid answer?
What I'm saying is with all this is we can't rely on Ruiz because we thought we were going to have Ruiz all season this year, and it's just so unfortunate that he had to go down again.
Right, and that's 2 destroyed knees now. Chances of that him destroying him again are very high, right? It just sucks for him.
He's a guy I'm okay with keeping. I just hope that we can get him back to where he was.
Keep him off the turf.
That too. All right. Now we head down to the final position, the forward position, and the first one. Let's get him out of the way. Rubio Rubin.
Gone.
I can't believe we're still paying him.
Robbing.
Wild.
He's robbing us.
He is out of contract this year and will be off the books. I will be shocked if he is picked up for next season.
We'll have to be in a real world of hurt if he's brought back.
Unless he takes a pay cut and we're desperately can't find another third striker.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
No, just go away.
I think I'm ready for the Rubin experiment to be over with. Let's move on. Thank you for your service.
Remember when we were so excited to get Rossi, Wood, Rubin? We're like, oh, we're getting strikers that have name recognition. Oh, that went well.
Yeah, how did that turn out?
Yeah, it went so well.
That was awesome. It's a good time.
I think, Giuseppe Rossi played like 7 games in total, I think.
Who knows?
There was some weird...
He started like the Orlando game, and that's really about it.
Yeah, it was some weird number, but he really didn't do much. Matthew Bell.
Keep.
Yeah, really didn't see much of him, but sure.
He's a young guy.
He's a guy that needs to get more playing time, I feel like, and I feel like he's a good left wing depth for sure.
Bertin Jakobsen.
So...
Okay, we have so many more wingers than I thought. Holy crap.
We have so many.
Yeah, wow. I think, I don't know. He's done really good in the USL, and he showed what he can bring. And I think maybe bring him back and maybe send him on loan again.
He'd have to go on loan again.
Yeah.
We can't be relying on him. If he's getting stable minutes, there's problems.
Yeah.
Unless he's taking a big jump in his game.
Right, but he would have to be a monstrous jump.
I just don't see, because we brought in Markchuk and we brought in Lachlan Brook, and I don't feel like we didn't bring those guys in for no reason. And I don't think we're going to give Burton minutes over those guys.
Absolutely not. Like I said, if we are, something's gone horribly south.
Yeah.
He's a good guy to keep on the roster for Monarchs. Loan him out to USL club maybe, and really just have him in your back pocket in case of an injury problem or something. But I need to see more from Jakobsen for me to be comfortable with him playing more minutes in Major League Soccer.
You missed a center back / midfielder.
Oh, I did?
Kevin Lambert.
Oh, he's not on here.
Keep.
I love him.
He never got a chance, and I want to see him get a chance.
Yep, 100% agree. I thought there were moments he could have had a chance, and I'm really disappointed he didn't get that chance.
Yep.
He had one appearance?
Yeah.
just so dumb. Like, what did we bring him in for?
Yeah.
Top USL player just to not even get any minutes. Like, he left. Where did he come from? Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, and then I think he ended up on loan in San Jose or San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, let's keep him. I'm okay with that.
All right, back to strikers. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Like I said, he wasn't on here for some reason. So, Elijah Paul.
Gone.
Not a big fan.
Yeah, I'm okay moving on.
He's like a lesser Devin Sandoval. Well, that's weird.
I feel like he's only around because he went to the academy. That's really about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay moving on. Benji Michelle.
He can stick around. He's fine. Whatever. Unless we bring in more wingers.
So, he just doesn't. From the amount of times I've watched him, he just looks like he's out of it. Doesn't look. He didn't show anything. I mean, what he's like pushing? Is he 30 yet? 20. He's like 27.
He is.
You saying 30's old?
No, I'm just saying, like,
he's 27. He's not even old.
Wasn't he coming off like an Achilles though? I don't know. He didn't show me anything. He's unless he can look like what he looked like when him and Daryl DK were at Orlando, then sure, stick around.
He's another guy that I'm hoping a preseason with the club can do wonders.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean this in the nicest way possible, but he is my new Ching. As in,
we gotta have a Chang.
Yes, he is going to be the guy on the bench that's just going to come in when we need him.
Exactly.
He's going to be that guy for me.
I'm so Brody'd out. Can you guys tell him?
Yeah.
And then we have Chicho Arango.
Let's sell. That's a joke. That's a joke, guys.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of discussion here, right, Carson?
I don't. Yeah, just keep.
And then last but not least, our favorite Ecuadorian, Anderson Julio.
You got to keep him. Yeah.
Yep. I think those two are pretty easy, pretty straightforward. So it sounds like we got rid of a lot of defenders. We got some questions in the midfield and at wing, but for the most part, with our keep, cut, sell, we are rebuilding the defense. Are we in consensus with that?
100%.
Yep.
Let's rebuild the defense because I think that was probably the weakest area for Real Salt Lake. Even when Real Salt Lake were in a hot streak, and Josh, we had this conversation at times too during the season when Real Salt Lake, they were scoring a lot of goals, but we were still conceding goals, right? There wasn't enough clean sheets even in that stretch. I think towards the end of the season, Real Salt Lake did better defensively, and there were still a lot of good moments defensively, but I think that's an area that Real Salt Lake should be focused on this winter to reinforce and to rebuild.
Yeah, I would rather games not be gunfights. I would rather us just be solid defensively and solid offensively. I know that's a big ask, but if you want to win in this league, we're going to have that balance, right? If your offense isn't performing, your defense is at least, and we have to find that.
Yep. I think I just want Chicho to score a goal. Go on I liked the start of the season. He was scoring goals like crazy. You know, he had 17 goals in 23 games, but after those 23 games, after the Portland game, gonzo.
Yeah, that suspension fried him.
DP cannot be doing that.
Nope.
Not scoring goals.
Depending on Chicho's upcoming season, this could be an entirely different conversation about Chicho.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. Not that I don't have faith in him, but like Carson said, if he's not scoring goals, we can't be wasting money at the DP spot on a guy that's not scoring.
Yes. And I think going back a little bit too, Josh, we touched on this last week. I think we just need better DP play from both of your guys. We need Mark Zook has shown a lot of promise, and I think that he's developmentally, he's already a step ahead of Andres Gomez, which I really like. However, now you got to pair that up with some DP play, and that's going to come from Diego, and that's going to come from Chicho. Chicho needs to get back to being the Chicho we saw earlier this year, and Diego just needs to be better.
in a lot of areas.
Needs to be better than Matt Crooks, and Matt Crooks is a baller. So,
Or yeah, let's let's turn to Matt Crooks.
Yeah, I'm really happy you're not a Matt Crooks hater. There's a lot of them out there.
I'm not a casual. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
I've defended him multiple times on X. Like, I've literally put together film and all of this just to show people that he's contributing, even when.
Yeah.
No, he absolutely is. We're right there with you.
So yeah, I'm not a Matt Crooks hater, and I feel like the stat merchants, are the ones that don't like him.
Yeah, stats don't show intangibles, man.
That was the only redeeming factor of Rubio Rubin. Other than that, he had some good intangibles too. That was his only redeemable.
He did.
Redeemable factor. But same thing with Matt Crooks. I think a lot of fans will hopefully next season appreciate him a little bit more because he does bring a lot. And I like Crooks' ability to draw defenders and open up space for Mark Zook.
But realistically, we didn't talk about this. Let's say we do sell Ojeda.
Okay.
Right? Ruiz does go down injured again. Palacio goes down injured. Matt Crooks is a natural midfielder.
Box to box.
We have coverage. If Diogo's playing well, there's nothing that says we don't see a Nelly Crooks midfield partnership.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
I would really like to see some more homegrown younger players get debuts this next season, like Luka Moisa. I want to see more Xavier Gozo. Let's see who else. We just had like Owen Anderson sign a contract. Well, he's probably going to need a little bit more with the Monarchs though. But I want to see more. Maybe Jude Wellings all of a sudden comes out of nowhere and starts playing good. I just want to see a lot.
He is in Austria.
Yeah.
And good things tend to happen to the players who go to Austria.
I mean, that's when Andrew Brody was at his best, is when he came back from there. That's when Pablo Ruiz was at his best.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's what they hope he does. He wasn't one of our youngest homegrown signings, and I think there's a lot of hope for him.
Absolutely. We just have to hope that they get that opportunity.
Yeah.
To go along those lines, I think Ralston does a really good job of identifying that talent. I just want them to see them do better at, I guess, developing integrating that talent. Yes. There you go. That's a better word. We've seen a lot of. I mean, obviously, Justin Glad has been the poster child for homegrowns for years, but lately there hasn't really been a homegrown that has stood out and has really become a consistent impact for Real. So, maybe you can argue Hidalgo, but even then, I would still like to see Hidalgo progress a little bit more.
Yeah, right now, Hidalgo's a role player. He's not a star. We want to see one of them become stars.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, guys. If you can sign one player to no DP restriction, no GAM, no TAM, no nothing, just someone realistically who can come in and contribute on this roster next season, who would that be and why?
You lost me at realistic.
Gio
Reyna.
That's realistic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Potential Luna replacement?
I'll go stay with the national team. I'll go John Brooks.
Yeah, you know what? What's he up to these days? Why? Let's give him a call.
Not much. Well, he's like 31. He's only like 31, right?
He's still young enough to do a job.
Oh, he would be one of the best center backs in MLS if he came here.
Absolutely.
I don't think he's attached to a club right now, is he?
He's moving all over I think he's at Hoffenheim right now. Hoffenheim?
Oh yes, he's at Hertha.
Hertha Berlin.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know when the heck he went there, so that just shows you how much I've been keeping up with him.
Josh, you bring up a good point though. I would like to see. I think John Brooks and Carson, you said it too. I think John Brooks could be a top center back in this league if that's a gamble Real wants to take.
Yeah, I have one more actually. I feel like Julian Green would be a really good MLS player.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in years.
That gives me a little bit of like the Bobby Wood Rubin vibe, but I think it would actually turn out much better for RSL.
And he's only 29.
How is that possible?
That's crazy. I haven't heard that name in forever. Nice pull, Carson. All right. I think that's going to do it, guys. Any last things you want to say, you want to add, you want to throw out there, put it out into the universe before we wrap this one up?
Just, following up again. Welcome, Carson. Happy to have you here. It's going to be nice to have a third person to, debate these things with other than just Alex and the other guys when they, pop in. But glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing me on, guys. I'm really excited to get started. Buckle up. We're about to bring some quality RSL coverage.
Carson, we're happy to have you here, man. We're excited to have you here. And welcome to the RSL Show, and welcome to the KSL Sports family.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us here on the RSL Show, again, on the KSL Sports Network. Don't forget to go go subscribe, go follow, go do what you have to do to follow the RSL Show on the KSL Sports Network for the best RSL content.